So as I said, today we are exploring careers using Aurora, which is a platform that our office subscribes to, pays money for, so that you have access to it for free. It's a wonderful platform because it has been custom made for PhD students and postdocs, and it covers both all disciplines, STEM, humanities, social sciences, and doesn't really make a distinction between the fact that people might want to go into professional careers or faculty careers. Both paths are given the same weighting in this platform. And so it's a wonderful tool to use no matter what you're doing. You may be doing faculty and professional, you may be exploring all your options, you may be doing one or the other. But I feel like this platform really has a lot of substance that you can leverage as you are doing your exploration and as you are preparing yourself and positioning yourself for these types of opportunities. Just as a quick introduction, I am Dr. Joseph Barber. I am the Director of Graduate Career Initiatives here at Penn's Career Services. To get to Aurora, certainly you can find the direct link that I shared in the links, but in the chat rather. But if you type in Aurora up here, it's going to take you to this page on the Career Services website. We are going to jump straight in. So I'm going to click on the View Resource tab down here. What you would find then, because I already logged in earlier, is you'd get to choose from a list of organizations. University of Pennsylvania is listed in that organization. Select that. If you haven't logged in with your pen key and password somewhere else on the day, it might prompt you to log in with your pen key and password, but it is part of our single sign-on process, so you shouldn't have any problems accessing this as a resource. So there's lots of things to sort of to play around with here. As you can see, there's professional careers, things that are beyond faculty roles, academic careers, which tend to be focused on the faculty job market, and similar things to that, how to take advantage of yourself within graduate school to position yourself for that. There are events that they host that are beyond this platform, live events, webinar events, and we'll talk about the cohort platform as well. And the job search assessment is often a really great place to start because it tries to figure out where you are in this whole process, right? So Aurora uses a similar sort of job search or career development framework that we have on our own website in terms of the steps that you want to walk through. But the discover, the research, the implement, and the build, these are some of the steps that you will want to go through and need to go through as a PhD or postdoc to really position yourself for any career that you want, whether that is a faculty career or beyond that role in the professional world. Lots of steps that you want to take to do that. This career assessment thing is just a fun way, but an interesting way to sort of get a sense of where you are in this process. And then it's going to say where you are in this process, right? So you're in the discovery stage, and that's going to help guide you through the next steps of how you're using this tool to take advantage of this. And so the course is pointing you to is Know Your Options. So the Know Your Options course is the beginning of this process. So if I go to the professional careers up here, you'll see that your Know Your Options, clicked on too many times, the Know Your Options is the first course that you can go through, and that's going to be a great starting point if you're in the exploration phase, which if you're attending the session, that may be where you are. So we'll start with getting to Know Your Options. There's a nice overview here from, again, Maren, who introduces what this stage represents and why it's important as a solid foundation. And then there's a whole bunch of resources, which are going to be online videos that you can watch, and the workbook, which is going to be critical too, because the workbook is really one of the differentiating factors of the Aurora platform, is that there's a structure to work you through all of these steps, right? You're not just exposed to all of these pages on the website and then you have to sort of figure it out. If you follow the steps in the workbook, you really are going to find that there's a step-by-step way of using the online tools, using the videos, using the other resources on the site to their fullest advantage. And that's what I really like about this, because I think many PhDs and postdocs struggle with the fact that this is an overwhelming process and it's hard to know where to start. So the workbook, I think, is going to be a really good place to go. Now, interestingly, with all of these sessions here, they talk about certificates, right? You can get a certificate that might be something that demonstrates that you have achieved progress going through the workbooks, going through the videos, taking the assessments. And what the certificate means is that you can add a badge to your LinkedIn profile. Badging and certificates are sometimes great to keep you on track, if nothing else. Employers may see value in that, but you should see value in it because it really demonstrates a commitment to the process. If you want to take a look at what that looks like in real life, let me just jump over to start over here to my LinkedIn profile, and I can show you on, let's see, Diane Sibikishi works at developing some of these materials for the Aurora platform. And as part of her experience down here, you can see that she has under licenses and certificates, the Career Strategies Professional course from Beyond the Professoriate, which is that certification that you completed that section. So it's a nice thing to have to demonstrate that you've gone through these things. And you'll see that there's certification on both of these options here. Now, the workbook, as I talked about, is a really great starting point because it's a really nice instructional curriculum that guides you through the different steps. And so I would not skip it over and just jump straight to the videos, even though you can sometimes if that's what you need. Because what this workbook likes to do is it likes to show you how the videos are helpful, right? So watch lesson 1, then answer some of these questions. And so it's an opportunity for you to reflect on what you're learning. And that's critical as part of the exploration process, because if you just jump straight into exploring, I think you can get lost fairly quickly and overwhelmed fairly quickly. The other great thing about this booklet is that what you are writing for yourself and the goals that you're setting, you can bring to us at Career Services, and we can chat with you about that, right? So you have something that you can bring to an appointment and say, this is what I've done, this is where I am, this is where I'm confused, this is what I've learned, this is what I still need to know. And that can be really helpful for you just to keep yourself on track. Because for some of you, this process might be a 2-year process. It could be a 6-month process, right? It kind of depends on where you are in this and what your timeline is. There's no, if you're starting early on the process, there's no immediate rush. But the more you can do more consistently, the better off you'll be as part of your exploration and career development. So lots of things I think to take advantage of in this booklet. As we look at the lessons, you'll see that there's a range of topics here that are covered. Each of them has sort of learning objectives that you can look at. And then there's usually a quiz at the end, and that's what you need to complete in order to get the certification and the badging, but it also makes sure that you are sort of understanding where you are in that process and what that looks like for you. So under professional careers, you can go through this, know your options and evaluate your opportunities. For the academic careers, there's still opportunities to explore within academic roles and faculty roles, the type of role that you're in. So I'm not excluding the faculty path as something where you can explore. I'm just sort of prioritizing the one side of things just to get a sense of what that looks like. In terms of career exploration, I think the interview library there is one of the great tools that the Aurora platform has, because in order to explore, one of the things that you'll need to, 2 things that you need to do to explore careers effectively. One is to do background research into some of the paths that are out there, right? So if you want to go into consulting, or if you want to go into user experience, right, you need to look up and use the resources on the Career Services website about different industries and career fields so that you have a fairly solid understanding of what it kind of looks like. On top of that, then you'll need to find people who work in those types of industries or career fields or specific roles and connect with them to learn about what it actually looks like, what it feels like, what skills are most valued, what challenges are faced on a day-to-day basis. That is networking, and the information interviewing process allows you to sort of gather that information. It does take time to find connections and schedule a time to chat and convince them that they want to chat with you and make sure that the right person, and develop your own questions to get answers to. So that's an investment of time. The benefit of this career exploration library is that a lot of these interviews have happened already with other people, right? So these are basically informational interviews that the Aurora platform is providing for you. And there's lots and lots of these out there representing different career fields that you can take advantage of. So basically you're a fly on the wall for someone else's informational interview. Again, there is a workbook for this video library. So it's not just watching videos and going, oh, that sounds great. There's a structure to this process that does involve you understanding where you're coming from, right? So understanding your own background, the skills and interests and values that are important to you, because with that knowledge, you can look at these videos with a more nuanced perspective. You can sort of understand and look for elements of what people are saying about their role or about their organization and reflect on that in terms of your own perspectives, your own skills, your own interests, your own values. And that's going to make it a more meaningful conversation to listen to, because you know what you're looking for. Are these people using the same types of skills? Are they valuing the work in the same way that I value the work that's out there? So do think about, again, do use this as a foundation for watching those interviews. And then as you watch them, you'll be, prompted in this workbook to sort of reflect on some of the things that you've heard from those interviews, right? So you can watch a video, then you can go through these different prompts here and say, well, what did I take from that? Why was that important? What did I learn about that that was meaningful? I think the way that they've organized it that is helpful is not by job title. Because if you're exploring, you don't really know what job title you want, and job titles differ by industry, but they're basing it on skills, the things that are important to that type of role. So you can look for opportunities that connect with skills. Now, the skills that they've used in this platform are the ones that come from the Imagine PhD platform. So if you are a PhD in the humanities and social sciences, this is another free tool that you can use to explore yourself, right? And they have these assessments that you can perform about your own interests, skills, and values. And the sort of language that they use as part of their skills assessments are the same types of language that you're seeing within the Aurora platform, right? So the categories: research, oral, written, management, leadership, technical, professional, and then these are the sort of the skills, the specific skills that come from those categories, right? This is the type of the skills that they're using in Aurora. So there's a nice overlap there, especially if you're a PhD in the humanities and social sciences. But it means that you can look through all these different interviews from this very skills-based perspective, or from a very thematic perspective, as opposed to what is it to be a data analyst or a user experience researcher, right? So because as part of your exploration, you're going to figure out what those key terms are relating to the roles that you want by doing some of this exploration. So if I'm interested in innovation, for example, I can certainly narrow it down to that field. Again, I'm not necessarily told what role these people have. I'm told what their background is, so you can resonate with that. But in terms of what they do, that's something that you would want to sort of explore as part of that exploration, right? And so you can see the job title here. You can see some of the prompts that they want you to fill out. And I think a nice aspect here is the take notes widget in the corner, where you can take real-time notes as you're going through that, and save them and print them and download them for later, so that you can really collect a nice library of notes from these conversations. And I think if you can do that for these recorded videos, where it's a totally safe space because it's just you in a video, you're not having to talk to someone, when you actually network with people, you're able to do it much more effectively. Because in the midst of a conversation with someone that you've reached out to and they've given you 50 minutes of your time, you're not only are you asking these questions, but you're also trying to present yourself. You're also trying to make sure that the conversation, feels energizing to the person and positive. There's a lot going on in your mind that can mean that sometimes what you hear from the conversation might get lost because you're sort of not overwhelmed, but you're other things going on. Whereas for these interviews, you really are focused on the content and making sure that you have access to that. So do take advantage of this as a great resource to make sure that you are leveraging that. Obviously suggesting other videos that might be connected. I was looking at Lisa's and I noticed Esther here is actually one of the career advisors at Penn Career Services. So it was nice to see her represented on this as well. So lots of things that you can discover as part of that process. The video itself, as I said, they're short. They can give you ideas about the types of questions that you could ask the next time you're engaging with someone doing an information interview. So it's great practice from that perspective, but the content is also going to be valuable in its own right. So the interview library, as I said, is one of the best ways to explore careers, because you have all of these conversations with, could be 200 people out there who have insights into what it is to use a doctoral degree in different career fields. So do sort of lean into that as a great resource. Other things you can do on the platform, they do put out upcoming webinars that are live sessions that are on topic. So back in earlier last week, how to identify a career that's right for you, how PhDs can identify and communicate their marketable skills. These are all things that are maybe relevant to you at different points in time, but they're always going on. They're always part of the platform. So again, because we subscribe to this, you have access to these webinars as well. Another interesting aspect of the Aurora platform is their cohorts that they are sort of playing around with, where you can sign up to be in a cohort with other PhDs from other institutions that use this platform, and sort of have a more guided experience going through a topic or a video. And so you can enroll in one of these cohorts for free to be part of this cohort of PhDs or postdocs who are going through this process. So it's really a wonderful opportunity to, especially for this Know Your Options course, feel connected to people. And sometimes being connected to people from different institutions is much easier than within your own institution, but certainly you can do similar things within your peer cohort here at Penn as well. But do see this as an opportunity to really have that more personal engagement with the staff at the Aurora platform, because I think it's really helpful to be to do this as part of a group as opposed to alone. If you have peers at Penn and you want to sort of be going through this process together and you want insight from an advisor at Career Services to help you guide you through some of these steps, do reach out to us. We can certainly have a group appointment with a group of you if you want to sort of discuss where you are, what's going on, how to leverage these things. We're more than happy to do that with you. Under the search tab here, you can search for the specifics, right? So if you're only interested in finding information about LinkedIn for graduate students and postdocs, you can get to that information pretty quickly just from the search bar. So sometimes you do just need information. You do just want to, find a great video on a topic. Resumes is a good one. You're often trying to put together a resume, and they have a session on, how to write resumes, how to make changes, in a couple of hours to make sure that your resume is really effective. All of these are also featured on the courses themselves, right? So once you go to the sessions, you can see all of the courses that they have. How to modify your resume in 2 hours, for example, is a great resume workshop there. So lots of layers, lots of information, lots of ways to do that. But the workbooks, again, I'm going to stress once again, are a really great way of guiding you through that process. And if you ever get lost as part of that journey, then do connect with us at Career Services and just let us know that this is where you are and this is where you're having trouble, because it is a lot of paths. There are a lot of paths out there that PhDs can go into. If you're very early on in the stage of exploration, that might seem overwhelming. If you have a sense of what that could look like in terms of actual paths that you're interested in, then it's easier to manage that. But either way, we're happy to help at Career Services to support you as part of this journey.